Hello, everybody. I want to talk about my dad today. Delicious. Some of you know that my pet dad passed away June 9th. Pretty out of the blue, too. I mean, dude wasn't the healthiest man around, but I thought there was still a few years in him. I mean, this dude. Last time I spent time up in Wisconsin with him, the last time I stayed at his house, was before he passed, was I woke up at like 6:37 in the morning. Freya, stop. 6:37 in the morning, because I hear this man stumbling around in the kitchen getting ready for work and shit. I go upstairs. And this motherfucker went and was making a fucking vodka Red Bull. A vodka Red Bull. 6:37 in the morning. He was doing this shit. He wasn't like making it to like drink before work. He was putting that shit in a thermos to bring to work. Like, he made one to drink at home. And while he was drinking that one, he made another one in his thermos to bring to work with him. This man's, and then I found out from some of his friends at work that he would drink like Mike's Hard or some shit like throughout the work day. Like, he wouldn't drink water, he wouldn't drink soda, Gatorade, nothing. He drank alcohol constantly. And you know those big, like, he only drank, like, the vodka he drank was Tito's. And you know those big ass bottles they have, like the handle? He would drink at least probably one of those a night, or in an entire 24-hour period. Yeah, he would have one of those every like 24-hour period. He'd go through one of those. Like, every day after work, he was pretty much stopping at the liquor store to get more liquor. And I don't want none of y'all think that like this is a hate thing or anything. Like, I love my dad. Like, he wasn't the best dad, but ain't no dad the best dad. Like, we all try. Like, I'm a dad. I ain't nowhere near perfect. I ain't nowhere near what he was. But, like, I'm not saying, like, I'm better than him at all. Like, I got my own little hang-ups. But this dude told me 2, maybe 3 years ago that he had cancer. And esophageal cancer. And he's been straight up keep telling me that since then. And the autopsy came back and they did not find any cancer. Like, he told the little... This motherfucker convinced me I was Sicilian, dude. Come to find out, at his fucking funeral, I ain't fucking Sicilian. Like, what the fuck? Like, this motherfucker dies and I have to have an identity crisis? Shoot. But I mean, this dude, he was a compulsive liar, my dad. Lied about anything and everything for literally no reason. Like, he would tell me one story about something that happened that day at work or whatever, and then I would be like in a different room, but I could hear him talking to his mom on the phone and telling her the same story, but not the same story. Like, it was different. Like, there was different aspects to it. And like, then he would tell it to me again, like, if it was something interesting. Like, he would tell it to me again, maybe like a week later or sometime later, and it'd be completely different. Like, and that's no fault of his own. I'm pretty sure that's like a mental disorder type thing. But even if it's not, like, I don't care. Like, yeah, like, he's hurt me with his lies, but like it like, when you know when you're close to somebody that is a compulsive liar, you get used to it, and like, you kind of take what they're saying with like a grain of salt. You know, like it's interesting. Like it's just like, okay, that's a pretty sick story. Like that's a cool story. Like that's a funny story. You know what I mean? Like, like so, after my son was born last year, and my dad would ask me, he's like, "What do you guys need?" And I was like, "Oh, a baby monitor." And then Christmas time came around. He's like, "What do you guys need for the baby? What's the baby need?" And I was like, "We need a baby monitor." And he'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll get you that. I'll get you that. Is there anything else?" I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure that's all we really need." And then Christmas passed, no baby monitor. uh, then like I talked to him like January, February ish, after Christmas, obviously. And he'd be like, "Oh, how you guys doing?" About like we talked, and then he's like, before we got phone, he's like, "Hey, what do you guys need for the baby? What do you guys need?" And I was like, "We could really use a baby monitor, honestly." Like, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll send that out to you guys here soon." And then, well, yeah, like every time that I talked to him, like since my child was born, he was like, "What do you need?" And I'm like, "Baby monitor." Never got it. Like, I don't know if he forgot, didn't have the money, or what the fuck it was, but like I don't care. Like I don't like. I mean, yeah, I could use a baby monitor, but I don't need it. Like we're doing fine without it. You know what I mean? Like so, like that's why I was like gave him that task. Like something that like if he got it, cool. If he didn't, not gonna hurt me. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of how you have to live with it. Or like and like I said, I love my dad. I've always loved him. Like yeah, there's been some times where I wanted to fucking hit him. There were some times where he tried to hit me, but like it doesn't take away anything, you know? Like, it's my fucking dad. Like, and sure, for like most of my childhood, he wasn't really a dad, but, and I'll get into that. Like, I'll tell stories about that shit too. But, like, once my youngest brother was born, like, he kind of started becoming a dad. Like, he started really putting effort towards being a dad. Granted, I was 10 years old. I mean, I obviously still needed my dad, but like, I still need my dad still. But I mean, I can't have him now. But like, you just don't know, really. You know what I'm saying? Probably not, because I don't even know what I'm fucking saying. But there's a lot of things my dad told me. There's not much that I know to be the truth. One thing I do know to be the truth is that he loved me. Right? He said he loved me. He loved me. You know, I mean, he didn't lie about that, not at all. When he told me he was proud of me, he meant it. Like those things that matter, like those were true. The fact that I've been living most of my life believing I'm Sicilian and telling people I'm Sicilian, turns out I'm not Sicilian. You know, that's not a big deal. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm a mutt. I'm a lot of everything. So it really doesn't matter. Like, I really don't give a fuck about my race or nationality, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't give a fuck. I mean, all that's I know for sure is that I'm white, which ain't the best thing in the world right now. But I mean, it is who I. That's what I am. That's who I am. That's what I know to be true. But yeah, so let's just get back to talking about my dad, because that's pretty much what this video is about. So I'm drinking tonight. I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm drinking tonight. I'm not drunk, but I just felt like making this video. But let's start from the beginning, I guess. So I pretty much started at the end, but let's go all the way to the beginning, as early as I can remember. Actually, let's even go farther than what I remember and go off what my dad told me. All right. So my dad told me that when I was a baby, me and my older brother were youngins. My brother does not have, or my older brother, the one I'm talking about right now, does not have. I don't have any full siblings. Like, all my siblings have either a different dad or a different mom. Okay. All right. So this one that I'm talking is in this story was one that we shared the same mom. That's it. His dad's a piece of work too. So, but so yeah. So apparently, what my dad said was that my mom kind of abandoned us with him, and he was like doing straight up like coke and shit. Because my dad was running strip clubs from an early age. At least that's what he was telling me. I don't know how true it is. I don't know. But he was telling me he was running strip clubs like Chubby's and Foxtail or whatever the fuck, and some other places. I don't know. It's got a lot of pictures with naked women, that's for sure, but I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's what he told me, and like I brought this up to my mom, and she completely denied it. But I mean, even if it was true, like if it's true, like if like I can't really trust my mom either, you know what I mean? Like, because like she could be lying because she feels guilty, or because her subconscious doesn't let her like remember things properly, just like a repressed memory type thing. But it doesn't matter. But that's just kind of what my dad told me and shit. And then he said that when she came back like a year and a half, 2 years later, to get me and my older brother, she told him that I wasn't his. But if you looked at us, like, I'm obviously his. It is pretty obvious now. Don't know if that's true. That's what he said. My mom denies it. Right? So, alright, and then let's move on to my memories. So, there were, as a child, like, I idolized my dad, like, as every little boy does, especially if that little boy doesn't have his daddy around very much. So, yeah, pretty much from ages, pretty much up until I was like, I lived with him for a year in 6th grade, my second time through 6th grade, because I failed the first time through 6th grade. Not because I'm dumb, but just because, like, I fucked around too much. Acting out and whatnot. But yeah, I lived with him for my second year of 6th grade, so I was like 12, 13. Nah, that don't sound right. Actually, maybe 11, 12, 11 to 13, something like that. And then, like, I hated it. Mostly because I hated his wife. But, so after sixth grade, second time through 6th grade, I moved back with my mom for 2 years. And then I moved back with my dad for high school. And I stayed with him for all 4 years of high school. But yeah, pretty much up until high school, this dude, he would, like, since I can remember, like, he would tell me he's gonna come get me for the weekend or like for summer break, and the day came, and when the day would come for him to come pick me up, I'd be out in the fucking driveway or at the front door with all my shit packed, waiting for him to pull in, and never showed up. He didn't call, he didn't show up, he didn't do nothing, and he never had a reason for it. He could never tell me why. There's a few, like, most of the time my mom would like give me a reason, like either he was in jail or he called her and told her that he was unable to come get me for whatever reason, just random reasons. And a few times that he did pick me up, like, we had fun, Sometimes. I remember one fucking time. This motherfucker waited for me to go to sleep. And he went to the bars or the strip club or something. All I know is when I woke up in the morning, his ass was naked in the bed with me, and some chick was also naked in the bed with me and him. And his fucking arm or leg or something was on me, and this motherfucker, he's a big dude. Like, I'm 6'4", he's like 6'5", and he did steroids when he was younger, so he was like really muscular and shit at the time. He wasn't muscular recently, he kind of got fat, but that's what happens with old people. They get fat, usually. But that's regardless of the point. But yeah, he was a heavy dude. It's like I was like stuck under him, and I just wanted to go play and really didn't understand the situation very much. And yeah, and like, and there was like, you know how absentee fathers are. A few times they do pick up they try to buy the kids love, which it works. It does work. Like, this motherfucker would buy me BB guns, fucking MP3 players, motherfucking, you know what I mean? Like, just material shit that I haven't seen since. But yeah, and like, he always had like, one thing you gotta understand about my dad is he really was into a lot of drugs most of his life, if not all of it. A few times I caught him snorting coke off the laundry machines. Like, I would be playing outside and like look in the basement window and see his ass fucking snorting coke with his friends off the laundry machines. And this motherfucker had like hella money, like cash just sitting around. And, like, I tried to steal $100 from him once, and this motherfucker knew that there was $100 missing. I don't know how he knew it with his amount of drinking. I mean, I stole cigarettes. Like, sometimes I'd take 5 cigarettes from his pack, and he wouldn't notice. But this motherfucker knows 100 missing out of like a fucking wad of them. I don't know how, but yeah, whatever. He's a crazy. He's got hella stories. And some people might say he's a bad dude, or he was a bad dude. Fuck, I know some people who would say he's a bad dad. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, he tried. At least after Dominic was born, he tried to be a dad. He really did. And then when Dominic died, which was my youngest sibling, he died maybe 6 years ago now. Honestly, since he's passed, like, since Dominic's passed, my brother, time just kind of moves so fast. Sometimes really slow, but I can't really keep track of time super well. But yeah, after Dominic died, it really started falling apart. I think that's what killed him so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always looked so young for his age. Like, he always looked like he was like 10 years younger than what he was. And after Dominic passed, he really started getting those gray hairs. I mean, when my brother passed, it really took a lot out of me and him, but it was very obvious that it took a lot out of him for more than it took. I mean, it's hard to say that because I know how hard it hit me. Like, I almost didn't graduate high school because of it. If it wasn't for my friends at the time, like, I wouldn't have graduated. But my dad really wasn't there for me when my brother passed. I kind of had to step up and be there for him. Every night for like 6 months after my brother passed, I sat up in my dad's room with him while he got drunk and cried and cried and talked about how he just wanted to put the barrel of a gun into his mouth and just end it. And like that hit me, like just watching him be like that, just it made me feel like I couldn't really count on him to be there for me, like. But I mean, that's kind of selfish of me too. Like, he lost a son. All I lost was a brother. Like, it's hard to compare that though. Like, if it wasn't for Nate picking me up at lunchtime for school, because he knew like the only class that I needed to graduate was my last class of the day, and he would, if I wasn't at school in the morning, he would leave school during lunch period and come get me because he knew. So if it wasn't for him, I would have not graduated. Christina, my girlfriend at the time, also helped me, made sure, like, pushed me to go to school and shit. After Dominic passed. But if it wasn't for my best fucking friend Joe, man, like, I probably would have fucking killed myself, honestly. Like, that dude got me out of the house. He made me do shit. And I didn't really want to do nothing. I threw away so much of my life after that shit happened. And I mean, I'm happy with where I am now. Like, I don't really give a fuck about what I threw away anymore, but if it wasn't for my friends, I don't know where the fuck I'd be right now, honestly. I doubt I'd still be alive, that's for sure. I feel like that, like, I probably would have fucking killed myself. Not that that's, like, the right answer. Like, I'm not advocating suicide at all, but that seemed like the only answer at the time. But yeah, that shit really took a toll on my dad. And at some point, I just couldn't take it anymore, so I left. I came back for a little bit to try and, like, work things out with him and whatnot. And partially also because I didn't really have anywhere else to go. But most of it was just because I wanted my dad. I wanted my dad to be a dad to me. He acted like I was at an age that I didn't need him, but I mean, I was fucking 19, 20. Like, everybody still needs their dad when they're that age. I feel like most of us need our dad no matter what. And like, if your dad was never in the picture, or your dad died early, like I'm not saying like you need him to survive, but you need, like, it's good to have a father figure. And for all those single mothers out there that the baby daddy ain't around or he ain't shit, whatever, like, I'm not trying to take anything from y'all. Like, y'all do a great job. Some of y'all are shit, but fucking got nicotine shit in my eye or something. I don't know. Maybe it's insecticide. Fucking bugs, get the fuck off me, pieces of shit. My eyes fucking burning. Fuck off, bugs. Goddamn, I was not expecting to fucking cry today. But I can't tell you, like, it's very hard to explain to you all how hard it hit my father when my brother passed. So I'ma just keep going. Fuck it. So after I graduated high school, surprisingly, and I left for basic training with the Air Force. You know how colleges or credit card companies will send you shit, like, assuming you're going to college, like, they'll send you, like, student credit cards, applications, or whatever the fuck. Well, while I was away, one of them motherfuckers came for me. And my dad accepted it. He took it, opened up a credit card under my name, maxed that shit out. He was paying it for a while. But like a year later, I started getting calls about a credit card that was overdue and maxed out. And I was like, I don't have a credit card. Like, I'm very against using credit cards. Like, I don't like to spend money that I don't have. Like, spend money that's not my money. Like, I don't like doing that. I don't like owing nobody. I don't like it. I liked it very much less back then. Yeah, this motherfucker opened up a credit card under my name. And then, like, when I got those calls, I was like, you guys got the wrong person. Like, I haven't opened a credit card. Either somebody stole my identity or what. I never had a credit card. And so, like, I called my dad. I was like, yo, I think somebody stole my identity. I'm getting calls about a credit card. And this motherfucker goes, oh, I got that for you for your birthday. I was going to build your credit up for a birthday present. And I was like, how the fuck does that make sense to you? Like, don't do that. You never told me about it. My birthday was like 5-6 months ago, dude. Like, and then he just wasn't paying it. And like, I was like, nope, I'm not paying it because I didn't fucking open it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Took like 3 years for them to finally drop it. Fucked my credit all up. My credit score's at like a 430 or something. That's not because it. Like, I kind of started working on it again. I had it at like 500, 600, and then kind of lost my job and wasn't able to make my car payments, and that's kind of what got me down to a 430 now, where I am now. But like, it wasn't in a good standing before because of him. And I mean, before he did anything, like, obviously I had no credit score because I hadn't done anything with credit. But whatever, it's whatever. I don't care. Yeah, my dad was fucking wild. He didn't always like the friends that I had, but it really didn't matter to me. Like, I love the friends that I have. Joe has been there for me through so much of my life. Or not so much of it, but so much of, like, the difficult times. he never left me like the other friends did. Like, I had these friends of mine that I considered to be part of my best friends, and like, when my brother passed, none of them showed up to the funeral. One of them had the excuse like, oh, I didn't know I was invited. And I'm like, there's people here from my school that I don't even know. You're my best friend. I didn't realize that in my moments of grief, I had to invite you. Like, show up. Be the friend. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyways. I'm end this by explaining. I'm still kind of in disbelief that my dad's dead. Part of me still doesn't believe that my youngest brother is dead. But the last conversation I had with my dad was about me painting my son's room and asking him for advice. And if you knew my dad, you knew he never said goodbye before he hung up the phone. Like, he would just be like talking, and if it felt like the end of the conversation for him, he'd just hang up. But the last phone call I had with my dad, he didn't do that, which was very strange. Before he hung up, he said, "I'm so proud of you." He said, I'm so proud of you, and I love you, son, and I hope you know that. And he said goodbye. And I said I love you too and all that shit. He talked about how he wanted to come out of here and see like where we live in now. And he wanted to make a trip out of it. I'm not even would have done the trip. Like I said, compulsive liar, but I'm really happy I talked to him and called him that day. It's probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks before he passed. But yeah, I'm really happy that I did call him. Good last words with him. I wish I tried harder to have a better relationship with him. It's hard, you know. It's hard. Life is hard. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, you don't know how you're supposed to be living. You don't know who's going to go when or next. But my dad, he had his downsides, but he was a great guy. He definitely had a personality. Like I said, though, he fucked up a lot in his life. And the only reason I talk like this about it is because I'm trying to be honest here. I don't want to try, like, there's too many people when somebody passes away, they try to paint them in, like, this glorious light. Like, you know, they try to pretend like he was a saint or something. But I want to be honest about it. He wasn't a saint, but he knew how to put a smile on somebody's face, and he knew how to tell one hell of a story. He didn't always do it. He didn't always fucking make people smile, but He helped people where he could. Sometimes. But he did a lot of bad things. But I mean, don't we all do that? Him, some probably a little more than some others, but he did take care of himself. Fucked up some of his relationships with his kids. He fucked up so many relationships with people that loved him. But that's whatever. I just don't know. Fuck off. Fuck off. Stupid fucking spider. Yeah, that's the end of this video. If you still got your dad, and he's around, tell him you love him. Reach out, try to make a relationship. That's all I can really say.